So how did I come up with life versus stuff? Well, I was actually reading in the Bible, Matthew 6, where Jesus talks about how you can't serve both God and money. And let me read this to you real quick. It's 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. So I was thinking about that concept of God and money, and it just kind of clicked. I came up with, well, what is God? God is love and life. So I thought, well, what about life versus stuff? Stuff meaning material cravings and possessions, and you can't serve both God, who's life, and money or stuff, possessions. So I came up with 4 areas for us to really focus on, and I used the word life to do that. I used the L, the I, the F, and the E to really break it down into 4 main focal points. So the L in life stands for love. It's, you love God and love others. So I want to share a couple of verses with you from the Bible. Jesus said in Matthew 22:37-39, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." And then in 1 John chapter 4, verse 8, "Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love." You can see how important love is to life. And the I in life is to imitate Christ. Now I know we can't be perfect because no one is perfect besides Jesus, but we need to strive to imitate what Christ was all about. In John chapter 15, Jesus said in verse 10 and 11, "If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full." Now the F in life is all about having faith in God. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understandings." And in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 8, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God." Now the E in the word life stands for eternal treasures. You see, we have a choice to make. We can either live for eternal treasures, or we can live for temporary pleasures. And the temporary pleasures is definitely what's pushed upon us in our American lifestyles. You see, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19-21, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." That last statement is very important. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You see, where we put our time, our energy, our money, where we dedicate our life, it's where our heart is also. So we need to re-examine our lives and see, where exactly am I putting the emphasis? Where am I concentrating my efforts? Am I growing the kingdom? And this is life versus stuff. So I'm going out on this journey cross-country to really look at what does it mean to live as a disciple, as a follower of Christ, and not fall into the traps of temptation of more and more stuff. Again, it's life versus stuff. I hope you'll join me.